Morning, everybody. It's 11:44 in the morning. Pretty much not the morning anymore, but not quite, but just a little bit, but not quite. We got our coffee. We're gonna do a quick exploration today to a drum loop from a producer called WootNooot or WootNot. I'm gonna leave a plug to his page and his stuff in the description. But he just, he sent me some drum loop stuff yesterday, and it's amazing, very inspiring. So, oh, that's a good coffee. So I've got a loop loaded up, and we're just gonna kind of, paint. Crazy. One of the things I really, really like about his loops is that I think all of them, as far as I could tell, were like recorded on an actual acoustic kit, which just always brings something to the sounds that you can't really replicate otherwise. And the other thing is he's just a great drummer, so he has that feel, and I don't know how he processed these, but they just sound great. So this is gonna be fun. I've got a couple instruments loaded up that I think are just gonna work to kind of get something going. But I'm also playing with the idea of loading up something from Astral Botany into Serato, maybe even just as a starting point. Let's see, what's this one called? Just call this the Bowden guy. Let's actually let's start with something in Serato perhaps and see if that kind of spawns something. Sometimes it's just easier to instead of starting with a blank canvas per se, just kind of have something to work with, even just if it's real quiet and just in the background, just kind of can set the tone and the mood. So let's go ahead and load up Serato. And real quick, I guess I should just plug this. I put out 20 instrumental compositions the other day. Some are, 3-4 minutes long. Some are just like around a minute long. But they're all kind of like very ethereal, just very organic instrumental type stuff. Good for chopping and screwing and all that good stuff. So here's the cool cover art I put together. This is actually the first time, my first attempt at doing those kind of like collage pieces. I'm not very good at it, but I think this one came out pretty cool. So, Astral Botany Vol.1, 20 cosmic instrumentals ready to chop. I'll leave a link to that as well. On Bandcamp, you can cop that for $15 if you like what you hear. Oh man, we got all sorts of stuff open. All right, let's dive in. Let's see. Let's go with let's go with Botanic. Put a lot of time into these, just making them really organic and textured, lots of different sounds and just like sound design, ear candy type stuff going on. Can make for some crazy chops. And they're all definitely very Flying Lotus inspired. I've been listening to him a lot lately, like a lot. I tried to make these in a way like, I guess I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but like every little chop that you find is like its own little musical world. Like there's so much information packed into every second of these. haunting, kind of beautiful. A lot of organic instrumentation and stuff. Looking for some chops. That's kind of my approach to sampling for the most part. Is like, you know, I'll come in here, load something in Serato, have it do an auto chop thing, you know, where it just gives me some options to work with. And I like just hitting the find samples button because it's kind of like a roll of the dice, random, like you don't know what you're gonna get, you know. So maybe it's not as precise as it could be, but I just like that sort of roll of the dice workflow, and I'm working with what I get. That's crazy. All right, that's one good little block there. Let's use that as the one. See if I can find a B section. That's the thing with chopping is like, I don't super enjoy the sound of like noticeable chops, so I'm always kind of trying to make them seamless, you know? Like I don't want to jolt you from one chop to the next. those bells go crazy. Let's see, we got something here. Oh, how'd that happen? Bring that back a bit. Close, we're close. And then, like, you know, if we're chopping things up like this, there are different ways that we can kind of make those chops blend into each other more seamlessly. One of those ways, or just to make them like less harsh, you know, one of those ways we can go in Serato and mess with the tack knob. And that way the samples are going to kind of fade in. Like if I do it super extreme, you'll definitely hear what that does. Yeah. That's quite nice, actually. feel like there could be one more chop here at the end. That's crazy. The other thing too is you could go up here in Serato and change from mono to poly so that you can actually stack chops on each other and get a whole other array of options there. So, you know, like oftentimes when I'm coming up with a new piece, or at least just lately, like I'll do something like this, or I'll find some chops that I like, get something, you know, laid out, and then that might just be like a very background, kind of quiet or washed out element, and it just kind of gives me, you know, some colors and textures to work with, so it's not a blank canvas for the rest of the ideas. Something like that. That's cool. I'm always messing around with the transposition and just like, you know, changing the key of things, because just gotta do it. Keeps your ears fresh, like keeps your perspective on things fresh. And I feel like every song just has a particular key that it feels and sits best in. So I might lay something down like this and grab another instrument and just sort of start to paint around on top of it, you know. Now that we have that, duplicate that again, and then we're gonna duplicate all of that again, and now we're just gonna kind of like record some long improvised explorations, see what works, see what doesn't, go from there. That's a nice sound, that one. Do this as well. This was the sound I got from just recording one note of my guitar. Just the direct input sound, and then I threw it in this free little sampler called Sforzando, which is nothing amazing. It's just super quick and easy. It gives you like no controls other than like you can throw like some reverb on it, a little bit of EQ, but I mean other than that, it's it's not an incredible sampler, but I actually use it a lot because it's just so fast to make little instruments out of your own one-shots and stuff. Okay, that's sweet. Definitely something here. I'm going to take some of the low end out of the sample. That way, it's not going to clash if I want to change the root note. Because like a lot of these samples too are not like super chordal heavy or like, you know, modulating from one chord to the next. Like they have a lot of just, what would you call that? It's almost like a pedal tone where it's kind of like one or two chords throughout the entire composition. And that kind of like gives you a lot of leeway to just roll off some of that low end and then, you know, kind of input your own bass notes. Just makes them a little more flexible as samples. You could also say that's a downfall since they're just so consistently one kind of key center, but you know, that hasn't stopped me from finding some really cool stuff with them. All right, let's see. something along those something along those lines. So usually too, what I'll do is like I'll mess around like this, and I'll look for a main kind of chord progression that can act as like a staple across the composition, and then with other instruments, I can begin to be more free form and like I don't know, just develop those more over the course of the composition, and then just have that like having these chords kind of just be that underlying consistent structure underneath. Like that, maybe. As long as it loops on itself nicely, then that kind of works out, Yeah. Take that out. That might work. There we go. You see, like sometimes those higher notes, kind of just melody lines or random arpeggiated stuff like that can kind of tie sections together if you I don't know, it's one of those things where like there are technically right ways to make sure that a section feels tied together with the last, but it's one of those things that I don't overthink. I just try stuff and I trust my intuition to know whether it's like it just feels smooth and is working, This is a super nice bass sound from, let's see, it's the Scarby J bass. Kind of, noodling around, trying to find a good bass line here. Let's come to the main instruments folder, and we're just going to put a high pass on this. Clear up a little bit more of that low end. And like this is one of those things too, where like I might come in and try to do bass part, and I'm just like not finding a bass line, or it's just not, it's not working out at the moment. So I'll just jump to a different aspect of the composition, and then come back and do some bass later. A lot of hopping back and forth just to keep things fresh and moving, and yeah. I'm thinking a lot less and just kind of just playing the bass notes, playing the root notes of the chords rather. That's one thing about this bass is if you play super lightly, you get the kind of the muted fingery sound, which is awesome, but it's also it can trip you up sometimes. Something like that. That's kind of nice. You can always fine tune. Always fine tune later. I actually think we can get a cleaner take here for that second half of the bass. Something just loops a little nicer. It's more defined, Ooh. Let's see, that one out. Yeah, that makes more sense to do that. Because we kind of walk back down to the root note where it repeats again, if that makes sense. And this, do something like that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it's a nice little variation. Could probably tie that together a little better too, this last bass note before the loop happens again. Some little line there to kind of tie it together. Oh. Maybe you could tie it like that, where a higher note on top just kind of bleeds over into the loop again. Where's that? Right there. And have that be kind of quiet. Excuse me. Let's see. Ooh. Not quite like that. I think that works there, and then we run into the same problem again here at the end. It's so velocity sensitive, this bass. Boom, boom, boom. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that works. That works. That's nice. So nice to have like a low bass line and then to kind of further color it with some higher bass notes. Okay, I like this. Let's bounce the Serato chops as audio. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to come here in Logic, and we're going to change this to polyphonic, since it is a polyphonic sample. And that way, when I transpose it, it's going to retain the transients better, much cleaner. And for now, we can just get that out of the way. That's the original Serato chop. What are we doing? Are we going higher? So I think that puts me in. Yep. All right, now let's just kind of paint around on top of that. right, so this is one of those instruments where the high end can get pretty harsh. It's got kind of a weird filter going on in the. I think this is from Tau U. Yeah, it's from the Tau synth. So we can just mitigate that by rolling off some of that crazy high end. And then we might just have to turn it down just a little bit, you know. I just want it in there as kind of a soft, sort of a soft texture, you know. Yeah. This is sweet. Wow. I like this a lot. Lately I've really been liking making like compositions that are just very kind of meditational, you know? This does something good for me. Let's see. What can we do? Tell you what. I need some birds. I definitely need some birds. I know we were all thinking it. Let's see. What's my birds? There we go. Boom. Love that bass there. Something like this too, like if it never gets released, you know, like I can just mute the drums and then extract all the melodic information, put that out as a sample. Like a lot of what happened with Astral Botany Vol.1 was kind of along those same lines. You know, just make a composition, and then if I I don't know, if I wanted to put it out, I would. If not, I would just kind of bounce out all the melodic stuff, and then you have a whole new host of things to chop. So it just kind of keeps building, you know? Ooh, I was telling some people the other day too. This is a quick little efficiency productivity hack. Whenever you're making like a beat, an instrumental song, whatever it is, you come up with some drums that you're like, that's some fire. Just bounce that out. Take your loop and bounce it out just as the drums. Put it in a folder somewhere. That way, like, you know, just over the course of a short amount of time, you're building up this library of just your own loops. And whether, you know, you want to put that out as a sample pack for other people, or whether you just, you know, want access to a bunch of loops that you really like, and then you can kind of recontextualize them in different ways. Just a good thing to do, and it takes, you know, really no extra time just to bounce them out, label them with the BPM, and there you have all these loops to work with. This is nice. let's put a little bit of a like an auto pan type thing on this sound here. If you want that sound as well, and you have the Tau UNO-LX 23 Celesta from the Juno factory bank. There you go. It's such a great sound for like just spaced out kind of noodling, you know. All right, let's run some kilohertz snap heap, and let's go something like this maybe. I want to say snap heap is also free. I might be wrong about that, but it'd be worth checking out because they have a ton of plugins. There we go. We got some more width going on now. Some more movement. Wow, I'm just vibing out now. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce these to audio, clear up some CPU, and just kind of commit. So yeah, I mean, this is really how a lot of these compositions I'm doing lately come together. Just kind of a lot of noodling, exploring, throwing paint at the wall, that type of stuff. And you know, I'll lay down like a foundation like this, and just keep building layers of things going on. And then obviously, you know, I'll kind of have to decide what the hierarchy of those layers is going to be, right? So like if I were to add like a guitar to this, it might be a bit louder and kind of playing some main melodic lines, whereas all this other stuff is just kind of like background, textural, kind of a wash of color, you know? Bounce that out too. So hopefully it's kind of inspiring and you know, gives you some new ideas as far as workflow goes. Because there's so many different ways to go about making music. There aren't really right or wrong answers, you know, it's just all different options. Let's go. Hold up. We're gonna transpose things again. But we've got to make these polyphonic. You don't have to, you know. You might get some different results otherwise, but I've just found setting anything harmonic like this to polyphonic is going to it's going to really preserve all the transient information and the rhythm, the timing information as you're changing the key that it's in. Shout out to Woot for the loops, for the drums. Yeah, thanks a bunch, man. Or woman, I don't know, honestly. But thank you. Like, shout out. I'm gonna leave a link to their stuff so you can check them out. it's been fun. I'm gonna keep working on this, but I gotta wrap this one up right now. Gotta do some other stuff early today. Might come back later for like a stream or something. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Hope this was fun to watch, and peace and love and all that good stuff. Catch you later.